Welcome into Clipboard Conversations. John Folke alongside Hornets head coach James Borrego. Coming up on this episode, we'll take your questions as we do each and every week. We'll take a look at the week ahead. And of course, we'll kick things off by talking about some of the trends. And Coach, I want to talk about the one trend that you brought up after that Philadelphia game. I know you addressed it at practice on Tuesday as well, but the team has found a way to battle back from double-digit deficits and pick up some wins. And you say it's a blessing and a curse. You don't want to battle back from double-digit deficits, but this team has found a way to. How do you balance that? How do you try to eliminate the early deficits?
Well, we got to get off to better starts. We got to be the more aggressive team, the more urgent team, and we just have not done that consistently. And we could point to the starting group, or it could be a number of things, but we just haven't got off to the start we need. We're trailing. We're fighting from behind. And that's not a good sign for us. What I do love is the resiliency, the core piece of what our guys bring every single night, which is never give up, never die, never quit. We play to the last second, and that's built around that competitive spirit. But to be a good team in this league, you got to get off to better starts. You got to own the first quarter. You got to own the third quarter, and then close out in the fourth quarter. That's a good formula. We just have not done that. But we've been there, we're addressing it, we're talking through it, we're looking at, maybe tweaking a few things here and there to help our starts.
I think back to that Philadelphia game in the final, I think it was about 4.5 minutes of that second quarter, 19-4 run. And so that was kind of a mixture of players from the starters and the bench, and they really found something there. And you've been able to find those combinations at different times of the game to get you over that hump. What do you see out of those groups that maybe you could say, hey, this is what we were doing great for this 4.5 minute stretch? Can we do that at the beginning? Is it kind of a mindset thing, or what are you finding there?
I think it is a mindset thing, and it's really starting on the defensive end. When we're making these runs, we have found a team out on the floor that's the aggressive team on the defensive end. I think that's the one trend that I'm seeing. When I look back at the runs that we're making, it's done off energy, effort, intensity on the defensive end, attention to detail on the defensive end, and that's what's really producing an offense for us. We're getting stops, we're getting out, we're running. And I think early on, we're just not getting enough stops. That's the bottom line. We're not defending at a high enough level. I think in the Philly game, we gave up a 30-point quarter in the first quarter and then a 30-point in the third quarter. That's unacceptable. You can't give up 30-point quarters in this league. And then unfortunately for us right now, we're giving up too many of those, and it's happening in that first and third quarter.
Cody Zeller against Philadelphia. I just loved the way he played. And you and I had talked about before the game using the center spot, whether it was Cody Biz or whoever was out there, to draw Embiid away. And it seemed like when you go back and look at the film and look at how Cody played that, from the three-point shots to the rim running, he executed that and kept Embiid moving and away from the hoop quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought he was great. I mean, he really had a major impact on that game. Against a guy like Embiid, you got to pull him away from the rim, as we talked about. Stretch the defense, make him work, not let him just sit in the paint and clog it up. And I think Cody's ability now to shoot the ball, stretch it, make plays off the dribble, and I think a lot of that was in transition as well. He made Embiid run the floor, and if Embiid was behind him, now we were playing 4-on-3, 5-on-4 on the other end. And when we expanded, when we had that lead there to close the second quarter, we were really playing fast. But again, that was off our stops, getting stops. But Cody's playing very well right now. You need that big guy that can stretch and pull these fives that are at the rim, protecting the paint, pull them out.
When we think about execution, there's been a number of plays that you guys have had, lobs to the rim. And whether it was Malik, that one came in transition. It was a lob from Devontae. But in half-court sets, too, whether it's maybe a high pick and roll and someone's rolling to the rim and the guard draws it over, lobs to the rim. You guys have seemingly found ways to get good looks at the rim on those lobs, and those are tough passes, too.
Yeah, they are. But these guys have played, a number of games now together, all summer together. They're getting more familiar with that rim. Obviously, we want to put pressure on the rim, and our guys are doing a good job right now, rolling to the rim, looking for each other. We're doing it some in transition. Some turnovers have turned into lobs in flow and transition. But in the half-court set as well, we're looking for those things. Anytime we can get a lob, it really energizes our group, energizes the crowd, gets us going, and we saw that the other night in Philly.
And I want to wrap up by talking about Malik Monk, and we saw him come off the bench, 15 points against Philly, a career-high 8 rebounds. And he talked about going in there and guards getting the rebound and running, and Devontae can rebound. We've seen Malik do it. Terry can rebound. That's a huge part of helping you guys run, isn't it?
For sure. When those guys rebound, we're a different team. Those guys are just rebounding, bringing it, playing with pace. That ignites our transition, our fast break opportunity. So I was proud of him. He stuck his nose in there, dug out a few rebounds. I want those guards to be fighting for rebounds. It's not one guy. Don't leave it up to the bigs to just rebound it. It's a collective effort. I think we've done a better job on the board in recent games. All
right, those are some of the trends that we're taking a look here on Clipboard Conversations. When we come back, we go to social media and we take your questions as we go Ask JB right here on Clipboard Conversations. Final segment here of Clipboard Conversations. We take a look at the road ahead. You're wrapping up a stretch here of, I believe it's 5 out of 6 at home, and about to launch into a stretch of 7 out of 9 on the road. So trying to take care of being here at Spectrum Center over the next 2. And you've got Memphis and Detroit coming in. And kind of interesting that you just saw Memphis, literally just saw them in person as you went down to San Antonio for Tony Parker's jersey retirement. What stood out about watching the Grizzlies in person?
They had very good balance last night against San Antonio. A mixture of youth, young guys, and some veterans that know how to play, that are tough. They had a group out there with Crowder, Kyle Anderson, Valanciunas out there, some really good vets. And then you mixed in with, Morant in there. And, their young guys are really good, dynamic. They can get up and down the floor. They're playing fast. But I saw a very physical team last night. I thought they won the game against San Antonio. They were just the more physical team on the interior. So they have 2 big bodies that they start. It's going to be a great challenge for our interior tomorrow night. Make sure we take care of the paint, rebound. We got to rebound and get out and run. I thought we played well in the preseason game, at Memphis. Obviously, they had some guys missing. And but that'll be a real challenge for our group tomorrow night. Yeah,
no Valanciunas in that preseason game.
Right.
You guys racked up a ton of fast break points, really controlled the tempo.
The Jackson kid is really good too. I mean, the Jackson kid played well last night. Shot it, out to 3, finished around the rim. Some really high-level post moves down there. So he was really good last night.
John Morant is averaging about 18 points a game, up around 5-6 assists. When you look at a guy like that, would you like to maybe turn him into a scorer, take away his passing, or take away his scoring, make him a distributor? How do you look at kind of a guy that can impact the game in both areas like that?
Well, I think he'd take away his easy stuff right now, which is at the rim. Right in that restricted area. He's so fast, so dynamic. If you let him get downhill, get to the rim, that's pretty easy stuff around the rim for him to finish. He's a capable shooter, but you're going to have to live with some of that, especially early. He's so dynamic and he's so quick. You get up too much on him, he's going to blow by you. Now he's at the rim. Now your big guys are helping. Now their big guys are free on the board. So we got to contain him, stay in front of him, number 1.
And finally, as we wrap up here, Friday, we've got Detroit coming in. This is going to be kind of a fun matchup because you're talking about 2 guys that are maybe the league leaders in terms of, and you throw Lou Williams in there, 6th man of the year. Derrick Rose, I know he's starting right now, but Derrick Rose put together a great season coming off the bench for Detroit. You've got Devontae Graham, who's in that conversation for you guys. What stands out about what Derrick Rose can do, and now that he looks fully healthy?
Yeah, he looks great right now. I mean, he's shooting the ball well. He's still got that explosiveness, knows how to play. He's even more experienced now, better decision maker. So he's a problem off their bench. Obviously, they may start him now, with their injuries, but he had his way before he got hurt, last year with a number of teams, and explosive, knows how to play. So, and then you look at Devontae, he's giving us a lot off the bench, and I think those are valuable pieces that you can bring in off the bench, give you instant offense or decision making out there. That's a luxury for any head coach.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see these 2 teams come in. Memphis coming off the big win over San Antonio. Detroit coming in on Friday. Get your tickets at Hornets.com. Coach, enjoy the birthday. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Clipboard Conversations.